Welcome back to the channel, Paladin friends. In this video, I'm going to show you how to solo farm the final boss of ZF to craft your BIS weapon for Phase 3. My gear and talents will be linked in the video description, as well as a link to the video where I solo farm wild offerings, but I also kill the second boss who drops the other half of the sword that you'll need. Now, doing this run is not necessarily super difficult, but I would highly recommend that you grab the Hammer of the Righteous rune beforehand. It's extremely powerful and really lets you get through the event safely and efficiently. If you're already familiar with the route to the boss room and the reset locations for the mobs, then just skip ahead to the part where I start clearing out the courtyard. Once you've reached this location, wait for combat to drop, and then start clearing out the trash mobs that patrol around the courtyard. You need to take care of the patrol with the 2 shadow hunters and the basilisk, as well as the 3-pack that's in the tent on the other side of the courtyard here. These 2 larger packs are really the only thing that's problematic, and what I do to deal with them is I actually clear everything else out of my way, and then one at a time I will use the staircase and the staircase railing thing to force the mobs to path all the way up and around, and then come down the staircase railing to reach me. This allows me to separate them and deal with the shadow hunters, and oftentimes just completely ignore the crowd control that they do on me. And then once I jump down off of the railing, any of the mobs up there have to go all the way back up and back down before they reach me. So it's a pretty good method for dealing with these packs. Once everything is clear, go ahead and start the event. The way you're going to get through this is by just staying at the top of the stairs and really trying not to pull too much more than you can deal with. You're going to be spamming Hammer of the Righteous on cooldown and primarily healing yourself with Holy Shock whenever you can to get the increased mana return from Holy Shock to keep your battery going, essentially. You also want to make sure that you are getting your allies here into combat with the mobs and utilizing them to help you. The Priest will heal you, the Warlock will AoE for you, and Bly will try to tank stuff for you, although most of the time you'll just end up with aggro. And again, it's in your best interest to keep the fight at the top of the staircase as much as possible. Towards the end of the event, these acolytes will start spawning, and they do a shadow bolt as well as a mana burn, so you want to be out of their line of sight and at the top of the staircase to force them to come up and into melee range with you. This is where it's kind of a good idea to have mana potions sometimes. You won't always need it, but you should have one in your back pocket just in case. Other than that, once you see the acolytes start spawning, just target them and don't let them stay up for a long time. One thing you'll notice here is I am almost never pressing Consecration, and the reason for that, although there are quite a few mobs at times, is that I do want some of the NPCs to tank them and eat that damage for me, as well as Consecration is just a very mana expensive thing to cast. It's likely to cause you to go boom if you're trying to use it for damage here. Once most of the crowd is cleared out, go ahead and aggro the boss and then bring him up to the top and use your party members to help you DPS him down. Or you can solo him, and sometimes they will just grab his ad and focus on that. Try to use your stun on him as soon as he gets to low health, because things can get a little bit sketchy if he starts getting heals off. His heals are actually pretty significant. Anyway, as soon as you have everything dead, talk to the goblin, and if you're fast enough, you can actually run through the gate, grab the 2 shadow hunters in there, and bring them back to the NPCs to have them help you kill those. Although shortly after that, they will hearth out of the dungeon, so you can't get them to help you with the basilisks after. Now for the boss. You do not actually have to kill the 2 basilisks in order to pull him if you wish to pull him into the hallway, but I would highly recommend doing so because it allows you to utilize a pathing exploit for the boss. You can totally face tank these 2, it's just a little bit dangerous, and if you don't have good gear, I really wouldn't recommend it. Also, you need to make sure that you take out Rizulu first. Chief Bloodscalp is going to do an enrage, and once he gets really angry, you really don't want both of those guys beating on you. So you want to get Rulzu down as soon as possible. What I like to do first is let myself get a little bit low and then pop off with a big Divine Favor heal so I can ride that Sheath of Light and do a little bit more damage. And then once I feel like I'm in danger and need to heal, I jump over onto this ledge and send the boss for a ride. One thing you need to be careful with here is this boss does have a fairly short reset timer, so you want to heal yourself and get right back down and start hitting him again as soon as possible. Eventually, the boss will fall over, and eventually, you will get your sword. I hope this helps you guys out if you've been struggling to find groups to run this dungeon. I know a lot of people are complaining about having the BIS weapon locked behind ZF, and if that's you, well, good luck. OGB out.